Paul, new drilling results already again. Where should we
Yep.
start?
Well, I'll just give you a quick rundown, I guess, on what we accomplished in the last, I guess, since our last interview a few weeks ago. We continued our drilling program. We had a phenomenal success in terms of the last set of drill results. We drilled over almost 6,000 meters of drilling within 5 weeks. We have all of our assay results back, and I think overall the results were very, very, very good.
Well, according to all my conclusions, they were absolutely outstanding. And in addition to that, there was something about geochem results. Can you dumb that down for me? Because clearly I didn't understand, but my writers
Yeah.
sent me some notes and they kept referencing the geochem.
Sure. I mean, really what we did on the project, we have some very, very strong geochem anomalies. And just for those that maybe are just tuning in now, we have 3 zones that we're looking at the moment. We have the Jagger Zone, which again, we had some very, very good results on in our previous release. Follows up with a number of good holes on that zone again, in the last little while here. We've essentially drilled that project over, or that zone over, about 1.6 kilometers in length. It remains open at depth. It remains open along strike in both directions. And we're getting, again, broad zones of gold mineralization. And within those, we're getting high grade zones where you're seeing, nice numbers in the sort of the 10 to 15 gram range. So very, very productive in terms of what we've done on the drilling program on the Jagger Zone. We also, for the first time, drilled the road cut zone, which is sort of our original discovery zone on the Kossou Gold Project. And on that, again, we've drilled that over about 800 meters of strike length. We again have found a very prominent shear zone that is up to, again, I'm going to say 10, 15 meters wide in places. And again, we're getting grades sort of over those kind of widths in the 2 to 3 gram range consistently in our drilling on that project as well. So again, very, very positive in terms of drilling on those 2 geochemical targets. And I think maybe what you're referring to is we've got some other strong geochem anomalies. So we went out there and did some soil sampling. And the soil sampling allows us to kind of understand, where we think targets are within this environment of ours. And we've been very successful drilling geochem targets without having to necessarily do trench results or do trenching and get results. And just in the last little while, we released another zone called the Kadie Zone, which sits about between 200 and 400 meters west of the Jagger Zone. And within that zone, we've got about 750 meters of strike length of very strong geochem anomalies. So when I say geochem anomalies, I'm talking about, results up to 6,000 parts per billion gold in soils, which is a very, very, very strong anomaly. And we're making plans right now to put roads in there to do a little bit of trenching on that, but mainly to do some drilling on that in the next round of drilling.
And of course, you've had amazing progress and milestones since you listed earlier this year.
Yeah, I mean, we listed in March, after going through an RTO with the company, raised about almost $5 million on that RTO financing. Right now, we've still got over $2 million in the bank, and we took a bit of a break in the drilling because, again, we did drilled so quickly. We're catching up with the logging and some of the data entry information that we're doing, and we're also gearing up. We're sort of understanding now. We have a better sense of where the zones are. We have a better sense of what they look like in 3 dimensions, and so now we're planning for the next phase of drilling, which we anticipate being more diamond drilling than RC drilling, which was the first round. We can get a better sense on the geology and the structure that control the gold mineralization within our target zones.
Well, your CEO had mentioned that you were planning on doing 8,000 meters of drilling this year, and the most recent results were close to 6,000. Have you hit your target already?
Well, we did, but we always talked about having a bit of a pause in our program. So we actually drilled about 2,000 meters more than we intended to drill. Again, I think because we had so much success with the results that we were getting in. And now I think we just want to be prudent with how we spend our money going forward. And again, that's to switch to the diamond drill. We have to do a little bit of road work. We're doing some road building and some platform construction at the moment in areas that we weren't able to get into previously. But that's going to allow us to go back in and really fill some of these gaps. So we have, like in the Kadie Zone, the road cut zone, for instance, we've got about a 400 meter gap between our both northerly hole and our most southerly holes. So we want to fill that gap. And so we're just doing that road work now to make sure we have access and can be, can be prudent with how we spend our money on the project.
Well, I think you've just answered what we should anticipate in the upcoming quarter, but would you like to add anything?
No, I mean, I think if anybody's interested, I mean, all this information's on our website. We'll be happy to, host any calls with anybody if they're interested in contacting us. But we're very excited. We think we've got a great opportunity here, and we're looking forward to the next phase of drilling, which again, yeah, hopefully happens before the year end.
And for more information, as Paul just mentioned, please go to the following website. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Tracy. Have a good weekend.